Looked like you wanted to take a swing at me over that flap check. Isn't that how you got bounced out of the Air Force?
That senior officer had it coming. You're annoying.
You're now free to move about the cabin.
Where's Mom and Dad? They're back there. Dad?
Way out of your league.
Oh, wait, what if I've got a great personality?
You don't.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Tail down, 100 feet.
Sir, you can't do that!
You worried about this?
Brace, pull him back.
What do we do?
We find survivors.
Welcome back to the latest Weekend Warrior video review, this time for a movie called Deep Water, which will be released by Magenta Light Studios on May 1st, fairly nationwide. Yes, Deep Water is not the most original title. There have been other movies with that title. This one is called Deep Water because it mostly takes place in water, and as you can see from the background, it involves sharks. Most of the sharks in the movie look better than they do in the still with star Aaron Eckhart. I first heard about this movie a few months ago because I was interested because it was directed by Renny Harlin, who's kind of known for directing a lot of kind of schlock in the 90s, to be fair. I mean, he directed Die Hard 2, and then he went on to make movies like Cliffhanger and Cutthroat Island and Long Kiss Goodnight. But the movie that really stood out for me was 1999's Deep Blue Sea, which is a really fun and cool shark movie. And I was kind of excited for him to get back into directing another shark movie, although I was very nervous because he had just directed the Strangers trilogy. Basically, we make those turn into trilogy of movies. I like the first one. I like Chapter 1. I didn't like Chapter 2 at all. I hated it. It was the worst movie I saw last year. And then I never even bothered to watching Chapter 3 because I was just so disheartened by it. But I was just really excited for him to get back into the waters and with sharks and all that stuff. And I was not as excited by the cast. I mean, I do like Sir Ben Kingsley a lot. I've met him a few times. I've interviewed him. He's a super sweet guy. Aaron Eckhart, I don't know. I won't say too much about him, but he's not been the nicest guy in my presence anyway, over the years. Not directly to me, but just I don't know. What's odd is that Renny Harlin was directing a lot of VOD movies over the years, and Aaron Eckhart was starring in a lot of VOD movies over the years. So you would think that a movie like this would be very VOD. I mean, it's basically a plane full of passengers crashed to the sea. There's sharks. It's all about survival. It's a survival thriller, basically. And it starts out kind of like a movie like Snakes on a Plane. It starts off with these tropes, these horror tropes, piling onto a plane. You kind of would watch them and say, okay, this person gonna die, this person gonna die, this is the hero, blah blah. You know, Aaron Eckhart's gonna be the hero of the movie because that's his role in this movie. It kind of starts out this way. This is very, very tropey and very, very much like seems like it's gonna be very corny. And of course, this picture behind me does not help at all. I probably should change that. The sharks actually do look good in the movie. We'll get to the shark. First of all, it's about meeting these characters on this plane. We meet Sir Ben Kingsley as the captain of an airplane flying from LA to Shanghai. He's just called Rich. Aaron Eckhart plays Ben, who's his first officer. We meet a few of the passengers. Angus Sampson, who is probably best known for the Insidious movies. He's a great Australian actor, very funny, does a lot of comedy horror. He also was in Mad Max Fury Road, and he's just such a great, memorable, I would say he's a character actor, and he kind of plays the real asshole of the flight. You know it right away. He just makes it very clear. He's smoking everywhere. He's being an asshole to everyone. You just know that he's gonna be the bad guy in the movie. But then it has another cast. It has like all the flight attendants. It has, you know, a very varied cast of passengers, different ages, different ethnicities. I mean, it's flying to Shanghai, so there's a young man and his teammate who I believe they play esports who are flying back to Shanghai. There's a bit of romance between them, but I didn't really know many of the actors besides Aaron Eckhart, Ben Kingsley, and Angus Sampson. I didn't know that at all. I mean, I was assuming this is a movie that was shot in Australia. I'm just gonna guess. I could be wrong. What's interesting is that the movie was produced by Gene Simmons of Kiss, and I think a lot of people are not going to take it seriously because of Gene Simmons produced it, maybe because of that Still Behind Me, because of the premise of a plane crashing into shark-infested waters. I mean, it is the kind of stuff that just would normally go to VOD or streaming, and actually there was just a shark movie on Netflix just not too long ago. I haven't seen it yet, but these movies do show up on streaming and Netflix more than they get theatrical releases. So I'm pretty excited about the theatrical release of this. Yeah, so we let's start with the plane. The plane, people get on the plane. We meet the characters, a lot of tropey characters. It's like the beginning of Snakes on a Plane, like Final Destination. It's a lot like the airport movies of the 70s, which is spoofed the movie Airplane, starring the great Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, so you meet these characters and you already kind of know where things are going as far as, I mean, there's a kind of a blended family as a father with a young daughter who is not a big fan of her stepmother or new stepbrother. Finn, they play a big part in this. There's a guy who's just a guy named Matt who's just, I don't know what his thing is. They're not very, the characters are not very well delineated when we first meet them. There's just kind of a lot of like, there's conflicts between some of them. They're not. But the main thing is that electrical battery in the hold gets catched on fire, sets the whole thing on fire. The plane blows up midair. People go flying out. It's a pretty impressive set piece, to be honest. The plane crashing. But that's the whole thing. The plane's going to crash. It's going to end up in the waters. And then the people are going to have to survive. And some of them have to deal with sharks. Some of them have to deal with like sinking parts of the airplane that are left over. It's a pretty impressive set piece for the plane to go down. It's just as impressive to see this set they created probably on a water tank somewhere where there's pieces of this airplane and people like standing on various parts of it, people in rafts, people trying to swim, the sharks. I mean, the sharks definitely feel very CG. You know, some of them look better than others. I think the shark part, we'll get into the shark part in a bit, because I think the shark part is where a lot of people who liked Renny Harlin and Deep Blue Sea are going to be into this movie as well. But this is not a movie that's very, I mean, it's not a movie that you go into like, oh my God, this is going to be like the most intelligent. It's a fun movie that you watch when you just want to watch a fun movie. And even so, even saying that, I mean, the writing, it's not the best writing, to be honest. I mean, it has like a lot of writers. I think it has like 8 writers or 6 writers or something. So this is a movie that's kind of been crafted by the producers, including Gene Simmons, as I mentioned. And then Renny Harlin comes on and directs it. And I gotta say, it actually, the writing starts off kind of weak, but I think the character building is really effective. I mean, these characters start out so tropey and so like you've seen them before in so many other movies, but then you actually start to care about them because they actually have development, this character development. This is, you learn more about them as they try to survive. And I think that's where this movie does really well, surprisingly, because you would not expect it. And I did not expect it. So I was watching this movie and I was really enjoying like the plane crash. I was really enjoying the shark kills, which the shark kills pretty gory, pretty crazy. I mean, even the plane crash is pretty gory, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of like people getting hit by things, blood everywhere, whatever. I think the fact that Renny Harlin has this really good cast of a lot of actors who I just didn't know at all, like just playing smaller roles, but I mean, enough. These roles are important enough that like if you didn't care about these characters, then you wouldn't be into the movie at all. You wouldn't be watching the movie at all. Things like having, I mean, I don't remember all the names of the characters, unfortunately, but like for instance, this little girl named Cora, played by Molly Bell Wright, who's very good. She has a stepbrother named Finn, played by Elijah Tamati. So he has the kids on these sets, and then there's also a lot of adults. I love Angus Sampson anyway. He does such a good job playing an asshole in this that I'm not going to spoil anything to say that, what happens to him. People were applauding at my screening. And it's interesting. I saw this last night. It was actually kind of a promo screening. There was maybe only 5 or 6 critics there. But good on Magenta Light for actually inviting some critics to see a movie like this in theaters rather than just sending out screening links. I think it was really good to have an audience watching this with, because you do see people rooting for people. You see people getting shocked, jumping out of their seats. I was sitting next to Mike Gingold, who famously wrote a book called Shark Movie Mania, and he was jumping out of his seat at some of these kills. So, I mean, that alone is good to me. I'm curious to read his review for sure. I end up generally liking this. I feel like between the scope of the movie, the plane crash, the filming on the water, the filming underwater, what the actors brought to these roles, which would normally be very tropey, by the end of it, I was just really like, I like this movie. I actually like this movie a lot. It's much better than it could have been for sure. I mean, this definitely feels like a movie that could have been very, very bad. It could have been a VOD streaming movie easily. And the fact that it's not, and it's actually pretty good, it makes me actually respect Renny Harlin a bit, because I really lost a lot of respect from those Strangers movies. This movie, he actually took something that he's done before, which is a shark movie, and created a very different movie, created a movie that is very humanistic. It has a lot of characters you kind of really start to like as it goes along. And it has a lot of surprises, for sure, but it is what it is. It's a movie about a plane crashing into shark-infested waters. It never tries to be anything other than that, but it does a lot more with that than you would expect. And that alone is why I'm giving Deepwater 7 out of 10, giving a passing grade. I have no idea what other reviewers and critics will say, but I enjoyed it with a premise so simple and characters and writing, so many writers, but it turned out okay. And I'm going to give Rennie Harlan a lot of credit for pulling it all together. And, maybe he's still full of surprises after over 30 years making movies. We'll see.
Where's my little brother?
Okay, it's gonna be all right.
You know it's not true!
The way I see it, we have one job to do. And that is to get home to see our families. You just gotta hold on.